So we're loading my sim, and thanks to the folks that were watching my stream yesterday from Colorado Springs to Sedona, where I had stuttering on departure, had stuttering when I was changing my views, and a boatload of stuttering flying around Sedona. We found out that a plugin called Gizmo was wreaking havoc on my system. So I don't have any good news. I downloaded the new beta of Gizmo this morning and tried it. Seemed to help, but then on further investigation, it was still mucking with things pretty bad. It was sometimes using 30 or even over half of my X-Plane resources. So I won't be flying the TBM probably today. You know, maybe I have to wait for another beta or until Gizmo comes out with something to address it or something. And by, probably next weekend, I probably won't, I'll probably focus my energy on seeing what I can put together for FS 2020 because I've been reading up on hardware and things there. And there's some challenges there. The possible need for FSU IPC to use some of my hardware. I mean, I got my yoke and my throttle, and that's the important thing, right? I've got these other panels which are helpful, no doubt. Certainly one of them has a gear handle on it, and that's good. I could work around that, even though I would dislike working around it. But we'll see. They said, the big thing, one of the big things that they said with FS 2020 is that your hardware just works. You don't have to do anything. Well, further investigation. I wondered about that. I had my, one eye closed and was like looking at it going, really? But I thought, well, maybe they've already integrated with, different panels. They've been working with different companies because they've done a lot of work. But I think they're at various, they're at some point. They're getting there, and I think that's their goal. Oh, what did I do? I came here instead of going there. This is where we're going to end up. This is, we're going to see how this goes today. Let's actually do this. This is pretty impressive if you want to see something. This is Shadows on 2K, and this is Los Angeles. And risky, right, with shadows on? But yeah. And my density slider is full right. Not the greatest visibility. But yeah, Long Beach, California. Can't even see downtown. See, is this morning? Let's make sure we set it to real time. So that's real time right there. And I'm at 35 frames. Let's see, is active sky is running. What is that over there? Let's see that. I don't know what that is. Well, I'd go over there, but I suspect it would take a while. Oh, maybe not. Go over and take a look. Is the power plant? Yeah, apparently just a power plant. Yeah, so there's the coast. So, yeah, that's about right. I always have to get oriented. So it's Sunday morning. Yesterday was Saturday, and it's a slow morning. Let's see. So right now, what is my, I wish this thing had it would show you what your heading was so you could sort of get yourself oriented. But, yeah, so there's the approach. And I think we're headed northwest right here. Is it northwest? Yeah, northwest. Yeah, so Los Angeles would be over here somewhere. And LAX would be right over, well, somewhere over here. But look at that density. This is Orbx, California. We will see if this airplane behaves and see if it can handle this kind of a situation. I think there are some performance improvements in terms of shadows, or they've partially broken shadows, one or the other. I think most of the shadows, they concentrate around the airport now. I don't think they see much benefit of putting shadows on all this density of scenery down here. At least maybe that's a workaround that they've implemented. And yeah, this is a nice scenery. But the comparison I would make, the thing I would point out, the obvious here, with the difference between FS 2020 and X-Plane is, where are the trees? I mean, you can see they're there, on the map or on the photoreal, but here, all around in here. FS 2020 has them. This is going to be a possible challenge, or Orbx has left them off for performance reasons, or Orbx decided not to put them down because they just couldn't get it done in time to release the scenery or something. But that's a big difference. But the shopping centers are here, and that's a nice looking one. And where's that pyramid? There it is. What the heck is that? I think this is part of this scenery, actually. And maybe this is as well. Yeah, this is Long Beach by Skyline. They're the same folks that did Cincinnati Airport and John Wayne Airport. John Wayne should be over here. I don't have John Wayne. Not for wherever it is. It's over here somewhere. If I'm thinking right. Let's see. So northwest. Yeah, it should be over there. Maybe that's it. But I can't explain what this big open area is here. But that looks to be about right. I was worried about getting two well-done airports real close to each other just for performance reasons. But what is my performance here in the cockpit? 33. So let's go to Sedona. Beauty of flight sim. You get to go where you want and when you want. Sedona. KSEZ. Oh, helipad, huh? I think I'll park here. Corporate ramp. Perfect. So yeah, this in lieu of the TBM today. Maybe I'll hear something on the forums or on Discord. You know, one guy was helping me. That's how I got the beta. I haven't heard anything else. Interesting flight plan. I hope I get that resolved. I mean, you know, it's very possible that I won't, and I'll have to break down and fly this in the Zibo for a while. And I could use the practice with the Zibo. It's not my favorite airplane to fly. It's a great airplane. Great airplane. Absolutely a great airplane. I'll be astonished a little. I'm really setting myself up here. I'll be astonished if this if I get good performance all the way into Long Beach. Long Beach is hard on, or it used to be really hard on frames for me. Couldn't imagine why. Let's see what our frames are here. 31. But I'm pushing this sucker. I really am. Just looking. And this is by Xcoder. And I don't know how much Xcoder, I don't know where Xcoder's stuff ends and Sedona begins. I do know that this is done by Xcoder and that is done by Xcoder. And maybe some of these houses. My CPU is taking off, let's see. Yeah, see, there's Gizmo. And I think it'll only do it once for this airplane. And then it'll leave me alone. We'll check it here. Oh, don't make me a liar, Gizmo. I don't know, you know. Don't make me a liar. Do not do this. I may have to temporarily remove it. It's a licensing plugin. That's all it's good for. Well, it's good for LUA. Look at that. Well, we'll get it resolved. You know, if I have to, I'll take it out. Don't need licensing for the Zibo. Yep. What would happen if I just killed it? Alright, we'll try to kill it. Sassel-free is this airplane. It's alright. Shadows. You can see that light pole's casting a shadow. I can turn shadows off at any time. I just wanted to see if it could handle it. You know, it would be nice to be able to run shadows, wouldn't it? So we got a couple things to do here. We'll try. We will try. Okay. Alright, so battery on. Lights. Let's see, so it's nav and strobe. Really, I guess nav. Throttle's cut off. Fuel boost up. Ignition up. Alright, so do the right engine first. Good sound. Pretty cool. You can hear N2 coming down and you hear N1 coming up at the same time. Alright, ignition out, bright starter. Alright, so Gen. No, I don't have that mapped, that's okay. Gen on, inverter on. It's all right. Oh, this is the inverter. That's the reset. Fuel boost off. Ignition off. Gyro slave. Anti-skid on. AC on. Let's see. Do I have a temperature? Yeah, it's pretty warm. Turn that on low. What you think? Pressurization. 320. Right about there. Avionics on. DRK. J231. To Hippie. Load. Him do. Oops. Hey, Lucas. Don't ask me. I don't do anything. Maybe you put a cuss word in there or something. I don't know. I don't have any mods either. You could put a cuss word, I think. Don't test that. Don't test that. I've noticed that. That occasionally, usually it's when there's a duplicate, but occasionally something deletes it. I don't have any bots or anything running. You know, people wanted to put in there that my frame rate stinks. You know, I need to start using Prepare 3D, and when are you going to reload FS9 and all these kinds of things. They could have at it. So yeah, I may have to shut these shadows off. I turned shadows on just to see what would happen. Let me see what's going on. By the way, let's see. Gizmo is back. Is it back? Let me go back to plugin admin. Still showing me Gizmo info. But I thought I disabled it. Because it was Gizmo that was causing the problems. And you know, who needs that? So, you know, I don't know. I got on the Discord for the TBM and downloaded a new version of it, but it didn't really help. Yeah, it's disabled. But I may be asking a little bit much of my sim to have shadows on. We'll see. You know, whatever. This was just, you know, I was just mucking with things, and I said, you know, I'll try it. And it works fine as long as I didn't have the airplane on, and now that I've got it on, well, it's doing okay. I'll taxi out with it like this. If it's bad, we'll just shut shadows off. It doesn't take that long. Well, I didn't fix the bug. I just worked around it by killing Gizmo, and I can't fly the TBM without Gizmo because that's what they use for their DRM. So I'm not worked around. I'm simply, well, I haven't fixed it, but I've certainly got a workaround of some kind. See, we're heading west, so we're going to set our altitude to, I'm going to say 10,000. All right, and our speed is set. This'll be fun. You know, I don't mind flying this airplane. It's not the TBM, but it's nice. And it was between this and the Zebo. And I looked at all those airplanes I bought. You know, I just go, It actually says I've got 0 viewers, so maybe you're a bot, Lucas. Not sure if you're a bot or not. Alright, so there's our flight plan. This is a nice piece of hardware. I'll just zoom out for about a month and see if our flight plan is okay. Looks good. Let's see, that is 5 miles right there. Alright, so pressurization set, avionics is on, flight plan is in, flight instruments are set, and set. Flaps 10. Passenger signs on. Spoilers cycle. Look back there. Yeah, they are. Flight controls. Not really much to see. Yeah, we'll taxi out like this. We'll see. Spoiler cycle, flight controls check. And we're good. Taxi, brakes, compass. Alright. So we're departing runway 3. It is pretty. They could do a better job of it, but you know, I don't think I'll miss it too much once I get, if I'm in the mood to fly either the Bravo, which is the newer version of this airplane, or a Citation, I'll probably use FS 2020. And if I'm in the mood to fly the TBM, we will see. It may go back and forth. Or the Falcon, or the Challenger. So I really don't have an airport diagram, but I guess I really don't need one because there's only one taxiway over there. Park and brake off. Yeah, that's a restaurant behind us here. Here, real quick and take a look. Come here. Oh, we gotta fix that. That's a nice looking. That's okay. Oh, I was going to show you the restaurant. Blast. see really, really nice PBR at this airport. This here, that's really good job. Yeah, that's a restaurant. You can see people standing around, just like everything is fine. I suspect I am gonna have to shut off shadows. Yeah. Come on. I'm gonna shut shadows off. I want to have a good takeoff. There's no point in pushing it too hard, is there? I mean, the slider's full right is enough. Yeah, airliners, Zibo. I do have the A320 too, which I can't even remember how to fly, to be honest. It's been so long. I used to fly it a fair amount, but that was in prepared. I've only flown, I bought the flight factor. Wish I'd have bought the TOLUS. If I were X-Plane, if I were the X-Plane developers, I would move on. I would work on moving air more than anything. There we go. Let's see what we get here real quick. Yeah, now we're up at the. Well, now we're in the close to the mid-30s. It should settle down around the mid-30s eventually. Please settle down in the mid-30s. Come on. I may have to just avoid this scenery altogether. This is like the days from hell here. If it doesn't settle down. Yeah, there we go. Now we've settled down. Nice and smooth. That's what I like. It's so disconcerting when you're flying an airplane, you're doing 100 knots and all of a sudden you're doing 20 or 30. And then it takes off again, especially when you're trying to land. Like, you're sitting there asking yourself, is it going to do it again? Is it going to, That was not a pleasant landing last night. I'm surprised I even got it on the freaking ground. And I left it out there so that, because I posted that video to the TBM forum so that people could see what Gizmo was doing. And I thought it was fixed, so we would be flying the TBM. But we're not. We're going to fly this. So I was reading up more on this airplane this morning, and it has a range of only 1,200 miles. By the way, I didn't check my friggin' fuel. Could you imagine having to taxi back and get fuel? Where is my flight plan? Let's see, brakes work. Runaway, compass. That's good. Fuel, I need 42. Says that's enough. Should be plenty. Yeah, it can only go 1,200 miles, roughly. It depends on which model you have, and I'm not sure which one this one is. But that's not really very far. It's supposed to be able to climb out at 3,000 feet per minute. Of course, it won't climb that fast now because we're already at 4,000 feet, but it should be that at 210 knots. Beautiful sunny day. Did the price of MS 2020 increase in the US because in Brazil it increased 100 reals in every version, but only in Microsoft Store? In Steam continues same price. I don't know. I haven't looked since. What is a reel worth? What is that compared to $1? How many reels to $1? How many dollars to a reel? I guess it's reels to $1 if it's 100. What a cool place to take off from. Wouldn't it be so cool to visit this place? What does that say? Noise abatement procedures. No city overflights, no scenic flights below 6,500. Avoid arrivals. Hold on. Avoid arrivals and departures from 10 p.m. before leaving airport boundary. So I guess if people want to take a long flight, they have to go up to Fresno. $1 equals 5 reels. 1 reel about 20 cents. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so let's do this. Before takeoff, ignition on. Lights, icing, flaps are set, transponder, set, toga, park and brake. Annunciator panel is clear. Throttle 50, then 90. $350 reels on Steam and $450 at Microsoft. So give me a sense, what does a... trying to figure out what I can use for a benchmark. What does like a... trying to be fair here. I don't know what kind of jobs you know about, but I mean, what does a person make down there? Like if they're a cook or a secretary or something like that. Yeah, let's roll. Let's go this way. Short takeoff and landing. I'm enjoying the smoothness, I have to say. That's what I'm doing. I'm going real slow because I'm really just enjoying the way that the scenery is just emerging. Solid 33, 34 right here. Let's keep the wheels on the runway. Oh, give me a... I'll ask it again once we get airborne. tight turning radius on this thing. Okay, let's lock it up. Alright, so our departure is a left turn out, and we're going up to 10,000 feet, so left turn out to 240. And bouncy. And rotate. Gear up. Now I would think that flaps would increase your lift here. I'm just going to go straight for right now. Let's go heading mode. That's really cool. I don't know what VX is. I have to look that up for this airplane. Alright, we're good for a turn. Flaps up. Yaw damper. And there's, well, seriously. Alright. The IS mode is set. Halt. And autopilot. And we are on our way. Turn the lights off. Holding 10,000? Or is it just accelerating? Yeah, I need to look up the V speeds for this airplane, VX and VY. Yeah, so the question is, like, what does a common person make in Brazil? Like, an ordinary job, like, you know, I was thinking a cook, a manager, a cashier, so yeah, so the climb rate on this is right about right. I may reinstall HD trees. ITT is up in the yellow. Let's bring it down. In some ways, this is an easier plane to get off the ground than the TBM. I noticed that in FS 2020 that these fire switches are disabled. They've got all these tool tips. You put your finger over that, and it says in op. What does that say? Master warning? No, there should be a. Oh, here it is. Engine fire right there. So you can lift that up and do bad things. Yeah, I'm just not a big Orbx trees fan. I think those will end up going the way of the dodo. I will, I'm going to remove them and see what it looks like. Let's see. Am I on nav? I'm not on nav. Pretty decent frame rates, pretty decent, not great. Occasionally it's dipping down, and it may be because of the bajillion trees down there. I may have to do another flight in Florida. Alright, 2992. It sure does. You know, and the limiting factor here is ITT. If you look at this, I'm up at the yellow band on the ITT, so I can move it up now that we're a little higher, but that's about as good as I can go. So 1300. And I don't think I've got a lot of passengers on this airplane. But 210, you know, that's the normal climb rate for this airplane. And if I flew this flight with the TBM, it takes just about the same amount of time, a lot less fuel. You know, let's see, let's look in the back here. So, you know, you've got an extra engine, which is nice, and you've got several more seats. You know, you can put, you know, more people in here. But the thing is, you know, can you really do that? Because, quite honestly, if it's climbing this slow now, imagine you had more people in there. You could carry more balloons. More pillows. Yeah, I could push it up to the red line, I guess, but why? There's an airport. What is that? See, my frame rate just dipped. Now it's back up. I don't know. I'll have to do some more experimenting. It could be a beta 17 thing. Who knows? I guess that's the airport there. How do I get to the nearest list? Prescott. So it could have been this one. Or it could be this one. It's that one. That's what it was. How do you program the flight plan on the Citation that comes with the standard of MS 2020? Because I didn't see anything on the screenshots. That one, which one? Are you talking about the Bravo, the older one that has the black screens? Because there's two of them. The Bravo has the older Collins system, and the Sovereign has the newer Collins system, and so they both have an FMS here. One is a touch screen. That's on the new one, and then the other one is a standard one that looks kind of like this one, except it's wider. You know, I honestly have never, I don't think I've ever used a full Collins system before. Of it, you know, never programmed an FMS. Don't think so. I'm trying to think. Because it was really hard for the developers prepared to make it, and I think they finally did make it, but I'd long left that idea behind. They didn't get the King Air 350 done until I'd left, long after I'd left Prepare 3D. It hit, you know, it took them 3 or 4 years to get that airplane done. Well, no, wait, because the old Collins.
Could you try again?
The The old Collins system was also in the Citation X, and I did do some work with that. I forgot about that. So this is going to be my experience, my first experience too. I think it's a CJ4. Yeah, I think it's Bravo. Could be a CJ4. I don't know if that's the same thing. Actually, it could be the same thing. Yeah. It's probably pretty nice. I don't know if it has VNAV. It doesn't have auto throttle. I'm almost certain of that. There's actually a video on it. I watched a guy on YouTube. Hold on, let me see if I can find this. I watched it yesterday. Pretty interesting flight in Costa Rica. I think it was Costa Rica. By the way, I'm trying to get my Swift fixed, but having various problems there, mostly related to I can't get to the websites. Look at my history. Because I really don't think I can see any airplanes. Here we go. So, yeah. If you want... Oh, come on. What are you doing? So if you want to watch that vid now or later, that's the CJ4. I'm 90% certain. And that's a little flight he did in FS 2020 with it. So I don't think he did a lot with it, but, you know, in terms of navigation. But I would think the navigation setup would be similar to a Airbus. More similar to an Airbus than to a Boeing. So I've got to figure out. 26,000 feet. We got 6,000 feet to go. Oh, Swift, try to uninstall it, and then I will send you a video that shows exactly how to configure the Swift. The only problem is that in Portuguese, but you can just see the video. It's in Portuguese, huh? I get your point. There are several videos on it. The problem is the websites are down. The last time I tried to go get the rest of the Bluebell airplane packs, Bluebell was down. And then I went over to, I tried to go this morning to get to the Swift website to get some stuff, and the Swift website was down. So that's where I am as of this morning. But I get your point about uninstalling it and reinstalling it, because quite honestly, my setup may be completely borked. I used to see airplanes. You know, I had a problem where I couldn't see them at first because it didn't have them all. So I finally got them and I could see airplanes, and then something happened. Something I did, something X-Plane did, something I did when I upgraded Swift. Swift has really got to fix their installation procedures. We got traffic over there. I have it so you don't need to download, so you win a lot of time. Because if you want to see everybody, please you'll have to install XCSL and Bluebell CSL. Okay. So, how could I get the? Oh, do you have the links? If you have the links, send them to me on Discord and I'll download them. I'll be real curious to see what my performance is. So I'm up here, I'm nearly 60 frames. 60 frames. I just can't wait till they turn MS 2020 into truck simulator, and you'll see semi-tractor trailers going down there that have real drivers. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. You heard it here first. Let's see. I was going to select an approach, wasn't I? Let's see. First we want the star, the Disney 4, and we are coming from there. There are no required altitudes until Disney 8,220 knots. Oh wait, yes there are. Let's go to our flight plan. Okay, so Churro 240 at 280. At or above 240. Let's have a look at that. That's all. Okay, at or above 240. At or above 210. At Brook or Rock at, I believe, between 17 and 19. At Road. That'll be interesting. And FIA between 14 and 12. And then Disney at 8,000 hard altitude. And then we're going, I don't see these on the chart, but let's go back to the approaches. They've got La River Visual Runway 12. That's over the water. And we're actually on, then there's an Arsenal Visual. Okay, so that's also over the ocean. And an ILS to 30. So if I put that in, this will be interesting. That if I was flying into dense airspace like this, I'd want to be we'll do mids, and let's load the approach. Secure heading bug. Almost there. And if I remember correctly, I put the VNAV button right there. That's 23 minutes. Okay, all right, that works. We could share my screen on Discord. Then maybe we'll be able to fly into Daytona. Look at this. I'm climbing at 300 feet per minute. I don't know if they go up into the yellow zone or not to get to climb faster. So we're about 5 minutes from the top. So we're set up for the approach. There must be a page 2 to this star. See, Disney 4 continue. Yep, there sure is. Look at that. Wow, man, that's a long star. So we're gonna have to have this star up and be checking our speeds the whole way in and adjusting our altitudes. It's gonna be fascinating. There's the moon. Yeah, I picked it. I picked the Disney 4. This is, if I were flying a, in a light jet, well, in an older light jet like this one, into Long Beach, I would probably not choose that star. I would probably try to choose something else. And those RNAV ones, while they'll work, you'll see it's quite a bit of work to be on top of your altitude. To stay on top of your altitudes, to get in there and get the airspeed right. This isn't an Airbus or a Boeing. You got to manage the throttle yourself. Good news is it isn't that hard to slow down. What's over here? I love flying over this area, though, I have to say. Just big and wide. Beautiful. It's the only way to visit this. Could you imagine being down there in a car and it's like 100 degrees? There's a town. That's Lake Havasu. And it has an airport. It doesn't look so hot. Somebody did, I told you, somebody did the U.S. Southeast in created overlays for the U.S. Southwest. They should have created overlays for this area, this part of the country. To be honest. It looks nice down there, though. There's another airport. Yeah, let's see. I do have those overlays. I should try it in Vulkan and see how it does. Install plugins. I do have it. I know I saved it. I just got to figure out where it is. Where am I heading? We are heading to Long Beach, California, which is part of. It's not. If you know where John Wayne Airport is, it's a little north of there. Oh, it doesn't say in the title, really. Yeah, KLGB. I did have that. I don't know where it is. It's amazing how much junk I download. I may have to re-download it. I don't see it anywhere. Yeah, it looks lunar, doesn't it? Sort of like what you know, I mean that doesn't, but this over here does. I love ortho. I absolutely think it's just the greatest thing. 10 minutes. All right. Yeah, I'll fix that title if I didn't do that. What a cool flight. I used to love to fly the Citation Mustang. I used to fly the pants off that airplane. It had no pants. The only decent scenery I had really was California, I think, and I used to fly it up and down and back and forth and over and over and over and over. And just really someday we will have a decent Citation Mustang, and I will fly it. And I try to remember if the Sovereign has a G3000 or the Collins. It may have the G3000. I'd have to look. I hope it has the G3000. I kind of hope it has the G3000. You know what I need to do is I need to find a similar flight to what I'm flying and fly along with some pilot, you know, who's got a camera that's sitting up here on the dash, so that we can compare apples to apples, what we're seeing out the window compared to what he's seeing out the window. That would be cool. If we knew when he was doing it, we could put it at the same time too. I mean, you're not going to get a live stream, obviously, but you'll get if you know when the video was made, at least the time of day. Because then you can check out the scenery and see what he's looking at and see if you see the same thing. And I would think you would. Because if you look at, that's a photo, and it lines up perfectly with the mesh. At least it appears to be. But it's nice to have that confirmation in terms of colors and, the height of the terrain, that sort of a thing. I'll fish around, see what I can find. Occasionally they'll even post their flight plan, or you'll see it. Or you might be able to find it on VataWare. Not VataWare, FlightAware? Yeah, FlightAware. I like FlightAware. It's good for the US anyway. I wish it had, you know, overseas stuff too. Hey, Andy. Let me try to fix this. Oh, there we go. Fixed itself. Traffic. Okay, we need to descend at 1,800 feet per minute.
Vertical track.
Hey, Christopher. Oh, I didn't know that was Christopher talking. Okay. Alright, so we can do VS. And weirdly, 1,800 feet per minute. That might actually do it. Yeah. Yep, beautiful scenery, beautiful. That's Palm Springs right there. And By the way, I don't know if you guys have any Orbx scenery, but they're going to be giving 40% off to people that bought their version in previous Sims. So, if you do, I'd like to see half off, to be honest. But I hope they keep that deal going, because quite honestly, I don't know how many I can get. I've got so much of what Orbx has done over the years. I've bought airports that I've never even flown into. A couple, mostly I've flown into them. So where's my thing? I've got to bring up this summary and arrival charts. We're on the Disney for arrival. Okay, and Churro, we have to be at 280 knots. 280? I can't even make 280. So I guess that one's out. And that's the only one that has a required airspeed. Thank goodness. I was watching a flight from Tromsø to Oslo in FS 2020, and you're disappointed. Okay, so what are you disappointed about? Scenery is crap? What scenery? The city, the trees, the photoreal, the airports. Alright, so let's bring back the VNav. Churro at 240. 1270. A tiny of everything, definitely the airports, okay. The airports just, I mean, what was the best thing about it? What would you say was the best thing about it? I don't know. I would think a city like Oslo they would have pretty accurately. But I don't know about Tromsø. You know, I would think the further they get out in the fringes, the worse it gets. So that doesn't look awfully bad. That's it's not that's not the Orbx Palm Springs. They don't have that for X-Plane. Let's see, so 1420. And we're doing 1500. 853. We're at 210. I wish it showed the, well, the distance. It doesn't show the distance to the fix. Alright, so now what? Road between, so I can put in 17,000.
Traffic.
I don't see it. Never saw it. $17,000, we need 1740 to get there. So I'm 90 feet high, that's okay. Mids is what I'm looking for at 4,000 feet. Ultimately. 1780. Some parts of the ortho too, huh? That's interesting. They'll get, you know, it's the way they describe it, they're going to keep making it better and better and better. So, gosh, I've got to get down to 12 now. So 12. Alright, so BS is 1630. 1620. Well, I guess I'll look. Once I get it. I was hoping they'd release it early. But they've got a lot of work to do. You know, based on what I've been reading, hearing. You know what I could do is I could increase my range here. That way I can see my next fix. Yeah, that's the fix right there. And we are 15.8. It says we need 1,500 feet per minute. It says we're going to make it. We're actually low. Need cross that below 14. Down to 8,000. Oh, 8,000. I need 1,200 feet per minute. Frame rate's still in the 40s out here. Landing flaps at 172, gear extended 276. So 200 and 176. Really pretty. Muchas casas. This is Disney intersection. It's a Disney fix anyway. Feet, lights on. This will be interesting. This is full sliders going into Los Angeles. Oh, what airplane? What's the best Orbx for VFR? It depends on which airplane you're talking about. They've got a ton of these little boutique airports that have very short runways. You could get a TBM in and out of them if you're light. Sometimes it's a stretch. And honestly, you'll probably be better off getting them on FS 2020. I mean, some of my favorites are the ones made by, what's his name, Gerard? Can't think of his name. Jared. It's Jared. Something. But Charlie Brown Airport. Well, I call it Charlie Brown. It's Charles Schultz Airport. Let's see, so we're still at 8,000. And there's Disney. Thank God for this screen. I don't know how I would have pulled this off without this screen. And that Cessna. Oh, you got a ton of good choices. My two favorites, personally, well, I like Charlie Brown. You'll never talk me out of liking Charlie Brown Airport. Look at this scenery. Dear boy, look at these mountains. And we got to go down to 7,200 feet. And we need a VS of 140. My favorites are Darrington, and I think it's Stark's Twin Oaks. I'll have to have confirmed that that's the one. There's also an airport called Concrete. There's, yeah, we can slow down to 180. Now, why is it going through my altitude? Alt is on. Shouldn't be going through that altitude. There we go. That's Mickey. Yeah, Darrington, Stark's Twin Oaks. What's the one that's up there? Orca Island. Wish I knew what fix was coming next. I've got to get down to 4,000. Okay, so there's that. Ahead. Okay. Got a ways to go. Knots. Looking good. 6,500. So down 1,000. Those are my favorites. There's some. Oh, there's one up in Canada. There's actually three up in Canada I can think of. Two up in Canada, one in Alaska. There's one that's on a bay that's east of Vancouver. That's a nice little place to fly into if you like that kind of thing. And there's Bella Coola. Goofy at 4,000. up on our altitude so I can flip back over to here. And there's our bottom of descent. Out. There's our approach. Why that makes that noise. I gotta cut back on the speed brake vibration. Okay, so we are at 4,000. We have captured the altitude, have we? It says we've captured it. No, we haven't. There, and let's quick approach, and let's get our first notch of flaps out. What a view. We've got 29, 28 frames, 30 frames. This should be John Wayne Airport. Well, no, maybe right down below us. No, it's behind us. Back there, right there. That. Okay, and we'll leave it on until we make our turn, and then once we make the turn, we'll flip over to CDI. It does it automatically. $3,000. 3,000. Yes, down.
Vertical track.
CDI approach. There's our glide slope. Flaps. We'll hold the last notch of flaps. And we've got the localizer and glide slope captured. And
autopilot. Autopilot.
There's the airport, right out in front of us. Isn't that amazing? still getting 30 frames.
$2,500.
Knots. And
$1,000.
amazing scenery. Flaps.
$500. $400. $300. Minimums. $200. $100. $50. $40. $30. $20. $10.
Hold on just a second, guys. I'm going to have to park here real quick. I'll be right back in a couple minutes.
Okay, no rush. I'm
Oh.
at the front door, so.
Okay. Give me a minute.
Thought I forgot about you, didn't you? A neighbor came over, was panicking about something, and I was like, okay, I've got to take care of this. I think I pulled off on the wrong side of the airport. Let's see, lights, icing, flaps up. This airport used to be a serious performance problem for me. And taxiing along here, I'm right at 30 frames. That's excellent. I've got to find out where I'm supposed to park. I think it's on the other side. Yeah, see, you can tell I'm paying attention. Oh, this is Xcoder Long Beach. No, not Xcoder. Skyline Design Long Beach. So I'll give you the tour because obviously I'm just sort of feeling my way around this airport without really looking at an airport diagram. Duh. Taxi. Airport diagram. Well, you know, and I hesitate to use this thing down here because I've found these things to be wrong. But I will give it a shot. Now we're crossing the runway we landed on. Typical summer haze, right? It's got that summer haze kind of look to it. Question is, I don't see a taxiway there. Hold on, let me zoom out of this map here. There's the terminal. Let's see where there's an FBO. Tower. It doesn't say where there's an FBO. Oh. You know what I'll do? I'm going to turn right here at Bravo. I'll go straight across. There's some ramps over there. But it's got a nice terminal. I had beta 14, or not beta, but I had X-Plane 11 4.1, and I will say that the performance on it was it was crap. It was horrible. So I'd wait until Vulcan comes out if you're thinking about getting it. This will be interesting flying. I'll probably try to fly the Sovereign next weekend. I don't know. You know, it takes me a few hours usually to get an airplane set up right. So, and I'm not one to jump from airplane to airplane. I've got nothing that tells me where the FBOs are, though I do have things floating up in the sky. "35 frames. That's excellent for this scenery. Gosh, that looks like something out of the Matrix. I'll be very glad when Traffic Global comes out with their GA, which they announced a couple of weeks ago, so that I can actually have some scenery, some GA traffic. I don't know why they insist on putting taxi lights or runway lights on the taxiways. I'll have to look up where the FBOs are around here. For now, I will just assume that, wait, what does that say? Angel City something or other. Flyers. See, these guys really need to start paying attention to their FBOs more. There's something up here. I'll go on up to where this building is. I see a sign on it, even if it's wrong. Let's see, you know, wait, what does this say? Modern. They need to pay more attention to their FBOs. Part of their pilots are also, you know, corporate and GA flyers. So let's get our avionics off and shut our inverters off. Yep. And generators off. And we should do a replay, shouldn't we? If we can find it.
because it's going to be back there ways. Too far. Shift F3. And here I come. Oh, it's a displaced threshold. We'll do it again. But that looks good from here. Let's do it again. All right, so what about there maybe? Should be close. Where am I? There I am. And we'll have to do one from the back seat too, because, you know, all that scenery out there. I didn't get to look at a lot of it because I was, you know, landing. Not quite butter, but good. According to this, it was 200 feet per minute down, which is good. And let's do one last.
Minimums. 500. 400. 300.
Look at all those houses.
Minimums. 200.
Could have done better on that parking garage.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
This airplane is a pleasure to land. I was off the center line by a bit, but I've got to adjust my foot pedals. Last one. Let's
do one from the tower. Just because I've got to do that. Yeah, long displace threshold. Very good. Lucas, you still there? See, I'm so used to flying in Los Angeles, and you can see, like the visibility is always so good you can see everything. So this is a more realistic visibility to me. I mean, looks like maybe 5-6 miles visibility, if I were to guess. Maybe 7. It's that summer kind of haze thing. It's got a nice feel to it. And here's me taxiing all over the airport. So I'll turn left here, and then I'll go back across this runway, and then I'll come back across it again. So, yeah. Yeah, there's me taxiing that way, and now here's me coming. I think Lucas is gone. I got to figure out where the FBOs are here. I'm guessing that they're over here. So we come off of 30, you make a left. Angel, City Flyers, Aero Technology, some sort of big airplanes, looks like, maybe. Let's have a look. This could be an FBO. It won't let me move. Let's do a C. Now I can move. Gulfstream. And that's really the whole row. And the terminal here is pretty nice too, once you get on Vulcan, because if you're not on Vulcan, it's pretty tough. And that's Gulfstream over there. I don't know, that could be anything. Cargo. Where's the blasted terminal? See, they should have put these buildings in here too. Where's the terminal? Oh, there's the terminal right there. Not much of a terminal, really. Just looks like a building until you notice it. If you notice, they've got these vent things that cause a lot of flickering, so it looks better in 4K.
They might have done better using images of vents instead of actually putting vents in. There's lots of anti-aliasing problems. Yeah, that's it. If I zoom in, you'll see them. You can see them. A lot of unnecessary work there, maybe. Must be the kitchen over here. Looks like they're cooking lunch. Alright, well that was a fun flight. And from here, I might end up going to Fresno. That's not a long flight, and it's a beautiful airport done by Orbx. And someday Orbx will eventually get, someday they'll eventually get Charles Schultz Airport done. That's a nice airport to fly into. And it's actually not bad. The default one for X-Plane isn't that bad. So that was a good flight. So I'll be on Discord. In fact, I need to check in. Yeah, no, nobody's replied to me over there. So I will have to, I'll probably fly this airplane again. Just learn some more. I've got a week left. So, lots of things to see. I'll be back on later.